You're back in with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. It is Veterans Day weekend, and as you know, every time we have a show around this time, we always highlight a veterans organization that works to get veterans outdoors. Because, as we all know, hunting, fishing, it's strong therapy, especially for our soldiers, sailors, and airmen who have gone through so much in service of our country. We're doing that again this year with an organization that you may not have heard of before. It's called Hunting with Heroes, Wyoming, and we're talking to the founders, Dan Currah and Colton Sasser, who are both U.S. Army veterans. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
This is a Wyoming-based organization. What is your mission? How long have you been doing this?
Well, our mission is to take disabled veterans big game hunting in Wyoming, and been doing this now. This is our 7th season.
It's really interesting how you go about doing this, because it's not just you as a group working with maybe individual guides. You have all sorts of partner groups that you work with. Why don't you break down the different groups you work with to get these veterans out in the field?
You know, we work a lot with the Wyoming Game and Fish, obviously, for the licensing aspect. You know, landowners are another large group that we work hand in hand with. We've also teamed up with other nonprofits that take disabled veterans fishing. They're called Healing with Waters. And veterans will come up to some of our hunts and they'll hunt antelope. And then shortly thereafter, they'll go on a guided fly fishing trip down the Platte. Another group we take is the Wyoming Veterans Mission. We work with them a lot. So, yeah, a lot of shareholders, you know, help us achieve what we set out to do.
You've got a very active Facebook page, and you've taken a lot of veterans out on hunts already. Why don't you tell our listeners about some of the hunts and the veterans who enjoyed them this fall?
Well, normally we'll do any big game hunt that we get a tag donated for. Most of the hunts we do are antelope hunts. And that's because we get a lot of tags donated for antelope, and there are a lot of antelope in Wyoming. And our success rate on antelope in the 7 seasons we've been doing this is 100%.
Wow.
We also do mule deer, white-tailed deer, elk. Every now and then we'll get a moose tag donated, bighorn sheep tag, and we have done mountain goats. Those are the animals that we have hunted.
Lots of opportunities there. Like I said, folks, if you just go to the Hunting with Heroes Wyoming Facebook page, you're going to see a lot of happy veterans with smiling faces and animals that they've taken this fall. Now, you work with Wyoming Game and Fish to get licenses, and you ask individuals to maybe donate licenses as well. Tell me how this works, these disabled veterans licenses.
Yeah, so anyone who, non-resident or resident, anyone and landowners as well, because, you know, landowners they're given landowner tags through the Game and Fish as well. But anyone who has a big game license, they can donate it back to the Game and Fish. And then at that point, from the Game and Fish, we have to validate that they're 50% or more disabled. And once we validate that, basically a nonprofit such as ourselves sponsors that hunter, and we fulfill an affidavit and reissue that tag back to a disabled veteran that we sponsor on the hunt.
So let's talk a little bit about what these hunts look like. We'll say that somebody contacts you, says, I'm a veteran. They provide proof that they've got at least a 50% disability rating from the Veterans Administration, and you let them know that they're going to go on an antelope hunt. What happens next? Do they have to get themselves to wherever that landowner is and do everything themselves, or is it more of a guided operation where everything's taken care of?
Normally on our antelope hunts, we'll do those in groups of 10 to 15, and we'll do them on weekends. We'll have the veteran come into the hunt site on a Friday, and we'll house them and feed them Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. We'll provide them with a guide. We'll provide them then with processing of that animal. All the veteran has to do is get to the hunt site on their own. As I say, we have about 8 hunt sites around the state. And we have guides for each hunter, and it's pretty special. We do a dinner Friday evening with guides and the hunter, and then on Saturday evening we have a kind of a meet and greet dinner where we have the hunters come to that dinner, guides, their spouses and families, landowners who have donated tags or let us have access, and anybody else in the neighborhood who has donated tags are welcome. And then Sunday night we have a kind of a farewell dinner, and it's just a little more intimate with the guides, their spouses, and hunters and their spouses. But that's basically the weekend program. We do have some other activities on Sunday if they filled out their permit on Saturday. We've had some fishing, as Colton said, with the Healing Waters Project. They take some disabled veterans fishing for us on Sundays. Or we maybe shoot prairie dogs or maybe do some coyote hunting.
Sounds like a wonderful opportunity. We have listeners in 7 states. Now, all of our listeners in Wyoming tuning in from Sundance and Sheridan and Jackson, they're all salivating at the bit at a chance to either sign up for one of these themselves if they're a disabled veteran or get somebody they know and love who's a disabled veteran to sign up. But what about our listeners in the other states that we have, from California to South Dakota, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana?
Yeah, the easiest way to get in touch with us is, go to our website. There's contact information for both Dan and I, and that's usually the best way to, start to facilitate that. So, our contact information's on there. They can call us. There's also a little note there where they can write, like a note on the website page and basically get into touch with us so we can get them on our list. Our list is continuing to grow as our organization has in the past years. So, sometimes it's not guaranteed they're going to get one or get on the list and get a hunt that same hunting season. It just depends. And also, we don't really know how many or what tags we're going to have because from the time, the deadline is May 31st for all residents and non-residents to have, their picks put in for the Game and Fish for big game licenses. And then, shortly thereafter, the Game and Fish will start, sending those tags out in the mail. And that can go into like June and July. So we try to tell disabled veterans to get in contact with us as soon as possible, start getting on the list, and then once the Game and Fish starts sending those tags out in the mail and it starts hitting the Game and Fish's donated license program, we can start seeing, how many hunts and in what areas we're going to have. So that's when the coordination for us really, truly begins.
All right, so the bottom line is you can be from any of our states in our listening area. If you're a disabled veteran, you qualify. Do Wyoming disabled veterans get a preference or not?
In the past, we've always tried to keep it half and half, but as time's gone on, we do try to make sure that some of the Wyoming veterans and quite honestly, some of the landowners will kind of dictate that for us. They'll say, I want a Wyoming veteran, or I want someone from out of state that wouldn't maybe get the opportunity to come on here and hunt, up in Wyoming. So, Wyoming's a very small state, obviously. We always will try to, get Wyoming veterans out, especially on these kind of last minute hunts where a tag will get donated right there at the very end. Because you have up until the opening day of rifle season to donate that tag to get it into the system for any area. So we're able to, with the Wyoming veterans, kind of get some of these last-minute hunts kind of, coordinated. But, yeah, we try to get some veterans from, all around the country because, like I said, they don't get the opportunity. So it goes both ways, but we don't have a preference. You're a disabled veteran, you're 50% or more service connected. Get in touch with us so we can get you on our log, on our books, and start getting a hunt planned.
One thing we do have preference on is if we get a World War II veteran that wants to come and hunt, they get the first spot. So
Absolutely.
That's the only preference we have, though. Yeah. And we have hunted some World War II veterans.
I think that's fantastic, and I think it goes without saying that that's more than fair. We've got to go, but folks, if you want to help out this nonprofit organization, go to their website. It's huntingwithheroes.org. If you're a landowner in Wyoming that wants to make your land available, if you want to go ahead and donate a big game license to one of these disabled veterans, if you just want to give them money for all the logistical needs that they have, the website is the same, huntingwithheroes.org. Again, that's huntingwithheroes.org, and that's where you go as a disabled veteran too. So check out huntingwithheroes.org. Dan, Colton, thank you so much for your service to our country and the Army, and thank you for your service to our veterans in Wyoming and beyond.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having us, and we appreciate your service as well.